Good morning. Happy Labor Day. You are watching Y in the Morning and I am Hilda Wadidi. And with respect to the holiday, it's about time we talk about the labor sector of this country. And with me, I have Albert Njeru, who is the Secretary General of the Kenya Union of Domestic Hotels, Educational Institutions, Hospitals and Allied Workers. Karibu sana.
Thank you, my sister.
Yes. And today is the day the country addresses the issues that employers and employees face, and also with relation to the government. Now, today, you guys will be in Uhuru Park, yes?
Yes.
And we have KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, who I think one of his main agendas will be the issue of the labor laws, which have been reviewed but they are yet to be passed.
Correct.
Yes. What do you feel about those laws that cannot go through?
Thank you, my sister. One of the things which is very important is that I need to mention clearly, the laws in the parliament are laws which have been proposed by the government to amend some sections of Labor Relations Act and above all Employment Act, so that they can be able to be manipulated according to employer and government issues. And therefore the proposals which are before the parliament, which we workers have refused, and we are really saying no to them, is they are victimizing, they are depressing the right of workers to express and to act accordingly. These laws are not binding because they have not been able to pass the procedure of public participation. And therefore, they are being proposed by the government through miscellaneous act,
yes,
which is very unfortunate. Workers in Kenya are ready to negotiate for their benefits. Workers in Kenya are ready to negotiate their way out, not the parliament. Only imposing the laws into the workers.
Okay, the law here says, the proposed bill says that it's targeting the sectors that are providing crucial services such as electricity, water, sanitation, telecommunications, firefighting, air navigation, health, fuel distribution and ports. The bill proposes that a fine of 500,000 shillings or a 3-month imprisonment on any union official if the strike he or she has called disrupts the services listed as essential. Let me speak, for example, on behalf of the government. There are some services such as electricity. If the workers were to go on strike, does that mean we don't have electricity?
My sister, one of the things the Kenyans and everybody has to understand is laws in Kenya are not supposed to be suppressive.
Yes.
No, they are supposed to be solving a certain problem, providing a certain framework, so that an achievement of industrial relations can be achieved. The proposed bill and the proposed issue of that you're going to fine any trade union 500,000 shillings is punitive, completely and not agreeable. Because one of the things, no union will go on strike if they have not given the government, the employer, the necessary notices of when they are going to start the strike. So it is the responsibility of the government and the employer to look for a solution through the union. Not about issuing regrets, imposing fines. No. Remember, the fines can be only imposed by a court of law. So let us not forget the same labor laws and the amendments which the government wants to amend through Miscellaneous Act were achieved through a negotiated method of doing things. How comes now only one of the arm of the government wants to do things arbitrarily? No. Let them call us down, have a sitting. The essential services, they are there, and we are not reducing they are there, and we are not intending to disrupt them. But we shall only disrupt the essential services if there is a cost to do so. You cannot just wake up and say, we have gone on strike. No. There must have been listening. People must have started negotiating. People must have started conciliating. Then there comes a deadlock. It is after that people will call for a strike. So there are procedures.
Like you said, there are procedures. There's also another act here that requires unions to report any dispute to the Labor CS and wait for intervention for a period of 21 days before taking any action. Doesn't that mean that there's a grace period in which, for example,
we are always giving the government and the minister some days, but because in the Ministry of Labor Let me also mention here critically, there are no officers. The minimum number of officers in the Ministry of Labor is less than the required amount of the people. And therefore the minister looks now, he is applying overload. Because if I give 21 days notice today, I'm 7 days, actually, it is the minister should initiate considerations. But what is happening now, he doesn't even know when a vision does notice of strike. He waits until the time has expired. We are on the street. That becomes a problem. The other thing, which is very unfortunate, and I should tell the minister to read our constitution.
Yes.
Any law in Kenya is supported to the constitution of Kenya. There is no law in terms of act we will subside any constitution. The constitution says, Bill of Rights, every worker has a right to go on strike. Full stop.
So the issue with the bill is the industrial action which it is going to interfere with.
They are trying to interfere with the rights of workers going on strike.
All right.
Let me ask the other way around. What about if the employer decides to close the hotel, for example, overnight? Is that not a form of a strike?
Yeah, that's true.
So why are we only looking at the issue of only a worker? No, including an employer may decide to lock workers out.
Yeah, and there should be something done about it.
So what will happen? Yeah. They are left scot-free. So we are only asking the minister and the leader of the parliament, of the government, to stop manipulating and agitating a right of an employer. He is a politician, he's a lawmaker. Convene a meeting from between the worker, the employer, and the government, then we shall be able to solve a problem. Don't impose. Actually, the workers are ready to go an extra mile, and we shall be going up to and including court to make sure that those laws are not going to be effective.
All right, let's move away from the laws a bit and let's talk about the union which you represent.
Yes.
There are domestic workers there. These are people who don't really know their rights. Can you let us know the main challenges that you receive from domestic workers?
The main challenge is most of the domestic workers are employed by individual employer.
Yes. Which
becomes very unfortunate that to get the information and to get the domestic worker and getting about the union becomes difficult. Two, the domestic worker is a disadvantage that they are vulnerable. In most cases, they are vulnerable to the employer. They don't know their rights. Creating of advocacy becomes a problem. Awareness is a problem. But one of the things we are happy about is right now the government and the employers are starting to recognize the law of domestic workers in their respective area of work. And we are encouraging the domestic workers, and most of them now are becoming educated and informed, that it is their right to join the union, it is their right to be part and parcel of a team, it's their right to have the social justice being done unto them, and it's their right to earn their money. So domestic workers in Kenya are becoming day and day informed of their rights. But the major challenge is when the employer decides he is going to oppress a domestic worker who is vulnerable. Because in most cases, these workers work just for the pay of the day. Yes.
All right. Since this is a youth station, I'm here to represent the youth. I would like to ask, most youth between the age of 20 and 35, 9 out of every 10 are unemployed. Obviously, this is not exactly a very correct statistic because yes, fine, we are not employed, but there are people who are on internships, contracts. Is there a union that protects the rights of all these people? Because these days we have employers getting... Instead of employing people, they contract them so that in case they terminate, it's part of your contract, they can just terminate. Is there anybody, does KOTU represent any rights for the
KOTU is an affiliate, KOTU is an umbrella of the affiliates. In Kenya, KOTU has allowed 45 affiliates, where Kudheiha is a part and parcel. So, in any eventuality, all workers, whether you are piecemeal, whether you are temporary, you are 2 years contract, or you are in a permanent and pensionable form of contracts, you are eligible to join a union. And that's why the Constitution Bill of Rights says every worker has the right. Every worker, even if it means a full day, you have the right to be protected by the rights like any other worker across everybody. So today, we are saying, even if you are youth, you have the right to become and you're employed in any form of employment. You have the right to become a member of the union of respective sector where they are, because we have many sectors. For example, in Kudheiha now, we have around 4 sectors: the domestic workers, the education institutions, the hospitals, the hotels. These are all sectors. As long as you're employed in any of the sector, you have the right to become a member of the union.
All right.
And you'll be protected.
And will be protected.
Yes.
I'm glad you've said that. Can you tell us your social media handles and how they can...
As long as you're an employee in whichever sector you are, and you decide to become a member of the union, your issues, your workers' rights, your social justice are well protected through the union.
Okay, we've also had this issue rising up.
Yes.
Especially with international or foreigners who have businesses and then they employ Kenyans. About a month ago, the executive director for the Federation of Kenyan Employers, Jackie, said that the Chinese firms that were coming here were infringing on the laws, the Employers Act here in Kenya. What has been your experience with employees who work for foreign companies?
It's very unfortunate that most of these people who come from foreign areas, most of the times they don't want to follow the labor laws, which is very unfortunate. But unfortunately, because of corruption, they have been able to go scot-free. But we are happy. Now the FKE Federation Director is now talking about it.
Yes.
And we are happy also. The Minister, the CS, Interior Security, Matiang'i, has also talked about it, that it is high time we start protecting our Kenyan goods, our Kenyan employer relationship, so that we don't get infiltrated by employers, by employees coming from other countries. It is high time we have to regard every employee of as a Kenyan being given a priority of employment, not to get a waiter coming from Tanzania. Although there's a freedom of employment in East Africa, it is high time we try to do our best to put our place first, Kenya first, Kenyans first, so that we can be able to employ our youth who are not being able to get their jobs as quickly as yesterday.
All right, we would like to know how the youth can get in touch with the unions if they would like to join. Just before I ask you the agendas that we can expect from you guys as you rush off.
Can I tell you one thing? For example, in my union, we have what we call, as long as you are in trainee in any institution, university, and you are expecting to join one of the areas, for example, the hotel, you have the right to become a dormant member. And that dormant member, it means that once you get employed, you start subscribing, and thereafter you become a full member. It is high time the youth discover that the potential membership in them and the unity we will bring unto them is how they can be able to fight for their rights. The minute the youth become that they are independent, you know, as far as I'm concerned, with my age now, I should realize and I should inform the youth. It is not about how quickly you get rich.
Yes.
It is how much experience, how much gain you can be able to gain as you proceed to work. You can get rich overnight. Agreed. But look at it. Most of the young people who get rich, even, you remember, I'll mention this one. It was on the TV the other day, that a young guy who was able to squeeze KRI around 4 billion shillings. You remember?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Then he was now showing us how actually is living. A old man like me, I may not even show even my small vehicle. So sometimes we need patience, sometimes we need hard work, and sometimes we need to have that wisdom of knowing, let not, the Bible says, let not the right hand know what the right hand is doing.
Yes.
So we are only saying the youth have the capacity of an opportunity. But we need to be patient enough. We need to work very carefully so that we don't also proclaim what we don't have.
All right. Thank you very much. Before you dash off, because it's about time we conclude this segment, and I know you're rushing over to Rupak, what can we expect the conversation to be over there? What agendas are you going to do?
The conversation today, we're expecting better terms and conditions of workers, of employees.
Okay.
The COTU, Afrits are really agitating to get approximately 18% in increment,
Yes.
which the government can as a minimum wage
Yes.
to increase.
Right.
We are hoping that also other terms and conditions for the people who have joined the union, they will join. Well, we are only calling upon all Kenyan workers, and especially whether you are grass cutter, whether you are driver, wherever you are, and you are a worker, wake up, become productive, and then tomorrow we shall be winners.
Thank you so much, Albert, for coming today.
Thank you
so much. You have been watching Why in the Morning Entrepreneurship Tuesday this Labor Day. Know your rights. Young people, get involved. You can join a union and protect yourself. I am Hilda Wadidi. Do slide it to our DM. Continue. Hello Day is coming through with one Shiko Kaitani. Start with the word YM 254 22162 is the number. Do not touch that dial.